You're all so enthralled with my hour and 45-minute presentation last time that I didn't want to give you a 4-hour presentation on apologetics. Apologetics basically is defending our faith. We're not apologizing for our faith. We're defending our faith, explaining our faith, doctrine, dogmas, scripture, all the things we believe in. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, it's about a 45-minute movie, and I referred to it as Apologetics 101. Too often we look at where we at in the world today. And we look at the issues we face and we go, well, if we would have been back when Jesus lived, everything would have been a lot easier, yada, 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 yada. Okay? And so this movie today is about a young rabbi a year after Christ's passion, death, and resurrection. And the young rabbi just happens to be back in Jerusalem a year later, and his family sees him, and so they invite him to Passover. And so he's comparing Christ's sacrifice to Passover at the Passover meal. So you'll get the instruction, okay, and actually see what a Jewish Passover feast was like. You'll see the rabbi comparing to that and what caused him to convert to Christianity. And you'll see the dissension, which we see today whenever we're trying to explain our faith. So it's about 45 minutes, and then we'll talk briefly after that, if I get it going again.
It's on a few books that we've been reading, the Jewish roots of in the Eucharist it relates in that movie. It relates in that movie. And actually
The whole 9 yards, it's all there. So the creed becomes what we recite to this great belief. Here's what we all believe that our church teaches. We don't cover that. Maybe someday I'll print that out from the Council of Trent. And here's all the stuff we believe. But Scripture is your base, but you have to be ready to defend what you believe. If you can't do that, well, either A, you're ignorant, and that's not a problem. If I recognize I don't do something, don't know something, if the faucet is leaking on a bathroom sink, and honey says, hey honey, the bathroom sink is leaking. Okay, I can probably figure this out. And you got water gushing everywhere. Or you can call the plumber for $100 to change a 50-cent washer, or you can get a book, or you can Google, how to replace the little washer in there. Okay? But you recognize, either A, I recognize I don't know how to do this. Let me see if I can figure it out. Call Mike Handrahan, he knows everything. Okay? Okay? Or go research it to figure out, oh, I can do this. We normally will do that. Bernadette told me a wonderful story. She was making potatoes for the first time. And she had to look that up. How to boil potatoes.
don't boil water.
How do I do this? Okay.
No,
And
but
how do I
it
feel
can
without burning my fingers?
turntable in a microwave.
So, it's in our nature to be inquisitive and try to figure things out. Unfortunately, it's been our nature to try to do things we know absolutely nothing about. Professing our faith and defending our faith, if it's stuff we don't know or understand, then it's on us to go figure it out. Would it help if somebody else if needed? Are there things that are hard to believe? Yes. People struggle with the real presence in the Eucharist because they don't feel it. My theme of preaching this year is pretty much is been focused on spirituality, because our spirituality is down here. And so as questions arise, it's on us to figure that out. But you need to be prepared when you get these little, and they're really nitpicks of people of faith, at least people that are knowledgeable of the Scripture. You have those rare opportunities to explain it, and if you're looking at it, they go, ugh. Well, what's the impression? I know as much as you do. At least I believe what I believe. You can't even explain it. I start that off at the youngest level. When I teach confirmation, hopefully that ain't going to happen anymore. But it's just because I'm busy, right? And they like younger people. But, the average teen and every adult should have all the mysteries of the Rosary memorized and understand them. Well, why is that? Your neighbor, a friend, especially a classmate in high school, they walk up and go, well, you're a Catholic, and who's this Jesus dude? And you can sit there and go, you know how to people what you're talking about. If I know the mysteries of the Rosary, I've got a building block where I can talk about the life of Christ.
Yeah.
Do I have to go into the Mass? No. Do I have to go into the sacraments? No. Do I have to define grace? No. And we'll understand it anyway. But I ought to at least be able to talk about the life of Christ. Agree with that? Yeah? No? Edith? You're the oldest one, Edith. But if I have that starting point, then I can talk about what I believe. Right? So, this movie is better than a lecture. Because that's how we need to be explaining our faith. Notice the older brother, the rabbi. He didn't get in an argument with the younger brother. The younger brother was constant baiting. Right? He didn't do that. Stay calm. And all of you know, I don't care what relationship you have in life, you know absolutely it's going the wrong way as soon as people start yelling at each other. That is not a conversation. Okay? It's a contest of personalities. You walk away with, I won. I won that argument. Or I lost that argument. Okay? And, unfortunately, religion is at the top of the list of almost any gathering you have. It's either politics or religion. Don't talk about that. Okay? In a lot of ways, that's correct. Because you don't want all the consternation at the family gathering anyway. And so then, your apologetics, the demonstration of your faith, ain't what's coming out of your mouth. Just how do you act? And too often we forget that. How we treat people, how we handle circumstances that arise. People see that example. And if it's positive, they want to know why. How do you handle that? And you may say something to them that's just totally crazy. Prayer. Prayer. Right? What the heck is prayer? That's an opportunity. What do you mean prayer? How does prayer go? Right? And so it's as much as how we act as it is that comes out of our mouth. But you have to know and understand what's in Scripture, first and foremost. What's in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, which goes in great, painful detail. Those of you that have the 1992-94 edition, it's that thick. Detail. And some of the stuff will just drive you nuts. You teach the fourth commandment, honor your father and your mother. And then you sit there and you tell, well, you know, fathers don't aggravate your children. Well, where does it say that? In the Catechism of the Catholic Church, right there under the fourth commandment. But dad and mom got they're kind of stuck in that too. Right? You can't kick the dog. Why can't I kick the dog? Well, that's the seventh commandment. Don't kick the dog. Don't abuse your animals. What? What am I stealing? What am I stealing? I'm stealing the goodness of this pet that God created. Okay? So, you know, you go into the commandments, you know, it's this big. You know, for the thou shalt not steal. You know, oh my goodness. Okay? You ever want to do a good examination? Pull that sucker up. Okay? But it's understanding what we believe. And when you have questions, as always, you don't understand something, then ask somebody. Have the discussion. Okay? All right. You get what you needed? I don't even know. I think I might have the last living copy of that.
I want to see the sign. But it's probably on Amazon.
Yeah.
No, one of the things that was off the floor the way that one, and you say is that, and I mean, there are some people that used to come to this church that were very, I thought, very devout people. Well, you know, our issues that we've had here in the past. They've gone to Protestant churches and I'm like, don't you miss the real presence of the Eucharist? And they're like, well, we have communion. I'm like, it's not the same. I think that there should be, Larry, or whoever, I think that there should be a class, a good portion of the class that should be on the real presence and Eucharistic miracle. I mean, we have proof that there is a real presence. Now the Shroud of Turin, too, they've taken blood samples just in the last 6 months that prove it's the same blood on the shroud that's in the Eucharistic miracles. How can people not?
I'm sorry.
And I understand that. And it's, it's like the face cloth of Monticello. If you haven't read about that, look that up.
What is it?
Face cloth of Monticello.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay, which is even, well, it's as extravagant as the Shroud of Turin.
And they match,
But the point is, and this is where you're facing, those are good things. Eucharistic miracles are good things. Right? In themselves. But what did Jesus tell Thomas? Blessed are those who believe without seeing.
But the young people don't understand about the spiritual presence. And sometimes they need that actual physical thing that they can say, well, Joe, prove it.
I don't remember if I said it last time or not, but I mean, you think about this. Father Kell shows up, does his first mass, elevates the host, blood starts dripping off the host. You know, everybody would fall on their knees. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Right? People would flock from all over. And so then, what's it like? You know, a month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, somebody's visiting. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh, no, that happens all the time. Yeah, that's normal.
If I could interject, Lil, I'm so glad you brought that up because I remember it was a couple of years ago. I gave a class on Eucharistic miracles, and you got to be so careful because, I mean, if you were at the Vatican or something, so many people have said that they've observed so many miracles. And a very high percentage of them are not real. And to distinguish between the real stuff and the phony stuff sometimes is not so easy to do. So that, you know, like, as Deacon Tom says, if somebody says there's a statue that weeps, well, maybe and maybe not. That's when it becomes a question of belief. Did you need to have that miracle in order for you to believe in God? I hope not. Just as I hope that what Jesus said about, you know, Thomas. Blessed are you who didn't need to have some super visible proof, but you believe. Reason being is that some of the things that you read about that people say is a miracle might not be so. And if you later learn that it was not so, would your faith be destroyed? I hope not. Yeah.
I was teaching a class years and years ago, a confirmation class, and we were talking about miracles, and the kids said, well, you know, can you show us a miracle? And I said, yeah, I'll show you a miracle next week. But it was exciting next week. And I walked in holding Emily Eppler, my 2-month-old grandchild.
There you go.
And they made the connection. Life in them.
Or you could have just pointed at yourself.
I have a statement. One thing that always bothered me about Eucharistic miracles is the miracle is the absence of miracle. Every Sunday there are 2 miracles. First, the host and the wine turn into Jesus, his body was delivered. Second miracle, it continues to look like bread and wine. But everyone's so surprised, oh look, it's a miracle, when one of the miracles doesn't show up. They're like, oh, it's so amazing and rare. What they have to do is, you had 1 miracle out of the 2. You're more impressed by 1 miracle instead of having 2 miracles. Yes.
What's the third miracle? That third miracle is that your soul, depending on your dispensation, is transformed. Too often we think about what's there, but we don't think about what's supposed to be happening in here.
That's a real miracle. I wish I could say good friend, the Vatican astronomer, Consolmagno, whom I once saw but didn't meet, has a definition of a miracle. If it transforms you, it's a miracle. If it, some people might say, oh, it's just something that would have happened anyway. Did it do something to you? Did it mean something to you? Like, I mean, golly, as you said, the host, this bread becomes the body of Christ. You don't see it. But if you believe it, it's something to you. And that's a miracle. So it's not so hard to find a miracle if you do it that way.
Okay.
See, I got into heavy stuff there.
I think we begin.